What are you working on today?
I'm finishing up the monthly report and following up on a couple of client requests.
Okay, and where are we with the report?
The main sections are finished. I'm checking the final numbers now, and it should be ready by 3.
Good. One more question. Can I send the client pack yet?
Not yet. I'm waiting for finance to confirm one figure. I'll message you as soon as it's cleared.
3 questions about work. But did you notice something?
I didn't answer them in the same way.
Exactly. The first person just wanted to know what you were busy with. The second needed to know how the work was progressing. And the third needed to know whether they could move forward with their own work.
That's what makes this kind of English so useful. At work, people ask about what you're doing for different reasons.
A colleague might ask, "What are you working on today?"
Your manager might ask, "Where are we with this?"
Someone from another team might ask, "Is this ready yet?"
Or you might get a message that simply says, "Any update?"
And later, you may have 30 seconds in a meeting to explain what you've been working on to the whole team.
The work may be the same, but the useful answer changes.
So in this lesson, we're not going to memorize one perfect answer to "what are you working on?"
We're going to follow this skill through real workplace situations, from a casual conversation to a manager update, a cross-team question, a written message, and a short team update.
And we'll also see what happens when your plan suddenly changes and something more urgent lands on your desk.
Let's begin with the easiest situation. A colleague simply wants to know what you're working on.
Imagine it's Monday morning. You've just made a coffee, opened your laptop, and started looking through your work for the day.
A colleague walks past your desk.
Morning. Busy today?
A little.
What are you working on?
Oh, lots of things. Emails, a report, a few client requests, some invoices, and I have a meeting this afternoon.
That's probably true.
Very true.
But I still don't really know what has your attention.
No, I gave you my task list.
And that's an easy mistake to make. When someone asks about your current work, you don't have to empty your entire to-do list into the conversation.
Let's try it again.
What are you working on today?
I'm mainly focused on the monthly report this morning. I'm finishing up the last section, and then I need to follow up on a couple of client requests.
Much easier to follow.
And the English isn't more difficult. The information is simply better organized.
I'm mainly focused on the monthly report.
That gives the answer a center.
Then, I'm finishing up the last section.
Now you know where I am with the work.
And finally, then I need to follow up on a couple of client requests.
That gives you a little picture of what comes next.
But here's something important. You don't always need all 3.
Right, this isn't a formula. The goal isn't to give the longest answer you can. It's to give the amount of information that makes sense in that moment.
And this works across different jobs.
If you work in HR, you might say, "I'm preparing the onboarding documents for 2 new employees."
If you work in customer service, I'm following up on a few cases that came in over the weekend.
If you work in IT, I'm testing the latest update before we release it to the wider team.
If you work in finance, I'm finishing up the monthly figures before this afternoon's review.
Different work, same basic purpose.
Give me a useful snapshot of what has your attention now.
That is enough for a casual conversation. But now, let's change the reason someone is asking.
The next person is your manager, and they are not asking just to make conversation.
They need to understand progress, timing, or what may affect the next decision.
Let's move into HR for this one.
You're recruiting for an operations specialist. You've already interviewed several candidates, but the process isn't finished.
Your manager comes over.
Where are we with the operations position?
I'm working on the interviews.
Is that wrong?
No,
Is it useful?
not very.
Why not?
Because you already know I'm working on the interviews. What you probably need is progress.
Exactly. Let's hear a more useful answer.
We've completed the first round interviews. I'm waiting for feedback from 2 hiring managers, and once I have that, I'll schedule the final interviews.
Now I know much more.
But notice that I still didn't tell you everything I've done.
You didn't tell me how many emails you sent, when you booked the interview rooms, or how long each interview lasted.
Because none of that helps you understand where the hiring process is now.
This is where talking about current work starts to become more professional.
With a casual colleague, the current task may be enough.
With a manager, the useful information is often what is moved, what is still happening, and what matters next. Let's continue the conversation.
We've completed the first round interviews. I'm waiting for feedback from 2 hiring managers, and once I have that, I'll schedule the final interviews.
Do you think we can still finish the process by Friday?
Now the question has changed.
Your manager isn't asking what you're doing anymore. They're asking whether the expected timing is still realistic.
So, repeating my previous update won't help.
What would you say?
We're still on track for Friday if I get the feedback by tomorrow morning. If it comes in later than that, we may need to move the final interviews to Monday.
That's useful.
Because now I'm not just describing work, I'm helping my managers see what the timing depends on.
And that's a pattern you'll hear in many jobs.
Imagine you work in finance.
Your manager asks, where are we with the forecast?
You might say, I've updated most of the figures. I'm still waiting for the sales numbers from 2 regions, and I should be able to finish the forecast once those come in.
Or you work in operations.
We've processed most of the requests from yesterday. There are 4 still pending because we need additional documents from the customers.
Or you're working on a marketing campaign.
The content is ready and the design team is making the final changes. We're still on track to launch on Thursday.
Different departments, different work, but the manager is trying to see movement, dependencies, or timing.
Which means I'm working on it is sometimes technically correct.
But professionally incomplete.
Now, let's take the same idea into a different kind of work.
Imagine you're in IT. Most of a system update is ready, but testing has found a problem with external accounts.
Your manager asks, where are we with the update?
You might say, most of the update is ready, but we found an issue with external accounts during testing. The team is checking that now, so I don't want to confirm the release time yet.
And that creates a new problem.
Another team in waiting to send instructions to hundreds of users.
Whether they move forward now depends on what you tell them.
So what should you say when your work affects someone else's next action?
Let's go back to that system update.
Most of the update is ready, but testing has found a problem with external accounts.
Your team is investigating it.
Meanwhile, the operations team has prepared new instructions for employees. They're planning to send them this afternoon.
And then you get a message.
Can we send the new instructions now?
You could answer, I'm still testing the system.
True, but that doesn't answer the question operations actually needs answered.
They don't just want to know what I'm doing.
They need to know what they should do next.
So let's make the answer useful.
Can we send the new instructions now?
I'd hold off for now. Most of the process is working, but we found an issue with external accounts. I'm checking that with IT, and I'll update you after the next test.
That's a very different kind of work update.
I'm still explaining what I'm working on, but now I'm connecting my work to your next action. And that's everywhere.
Finance is checking a payment before procurement can continue.
Legal is reviewing a contract before sales can send it to a client.
HR is waiting for IT to prepare equipment before a new employee starts.
Customer service is waiting for the technical team to confirm a fix before replying to customers.
In situations like these, I'm working on it usually isn't enough.
Because the other person isn't asking out of curiosity.
They're trying to make a decision.
Let's hear another one.
This time, imagine you work in finance.
Procurement is waiting for confirmation before they release a supplier payment.
Hi! Any news on the supplier payment? Can we release it today?
I'm checking it now.
Again, true.
Again, not very useful.
Let's improve it.
I'm checking one discrepancy in the invoice against the purchase order. I'd wait before releasing the payment. I should be able to confirm it this afternoon.
Now, I know 3 things without getting a long explanation.
There's a specific issue.
I shouldn't proceed yet.
And I know when you're likely to come back to me.
Now, suppose the discrepancy isn't serious enough to stop the payment.
Then the answer should change.
Can we release the supplier payment today?
Yes, I'm still checking one small discrepancy, but it doesn't affect the payment. You can go ahead, and I'll close out the remaining issue this afternoon.
That's an important distinction.
Same unfinished work, different impact on the listener.
In one case, wait.
In the other, go ahead.
That's the key shift. A useful work update isn't only a description of your activity.
When someone else's work depends on yours, your update should help them decide what to do next.
Now, let's change the communication channel.
Because many workplace updates don't happen face-to-face.
They arrive like this.
Any update on the client proposal?
4 words.
And somehow those 4 words can make you stare at Microsoft Teams for 30 seconds, wondering how much to write.
Especially when the real answer involves 6 emails, 2 departments, and 1 person who still hasn't replied.
So how do you turn all of that into a short written update?
Imagine you've been preparing a proposal for an important client.
You've finished the first draft.
Legal needs to review it before you can make the final changes.
Your manager sends.
Any update on the client proposal?
You could write
Still working on it.
fast.
Very fast.
But your manager still doesn't know whether the proposal is 10% finished or 90% finished.
So maybe you go in the opposite direction and write a huge paragraph.
I finished the first draft yesterday afternoon, and then I sent it to legal, but Sarah was in meetings, so she said she would look at it this morning, and I also changed the pricing section after our call with the client.
Now the reader has to do the work of finding the update inside your story.
Let's make it shorter and more useful.
Quick update. I finished the first draft and sent it to legal for review. I'm waiting for their comments before I make the final changes. I'll send you the revised version tomorrow morning.
That's easy to scan.
What's done?
The first draft?
Where is it now?
With legal.
What's preventing the next step?
Their comments.
And when should I expect the next result?
Tomorrow morning.
Again, that isn't a template you have to use every time.
In Teams or Slack, you might make it even tighter.
Draft is done and with legal now. I'm waiting for their comments and should have the revised version ready tomorrow morning.
Same work, less language.
Because a short chat message usually needs to be easy to read quickly.
A written message gives you a little time to choose your words.
A meeting may give you 30 seconds.
There are 8 people on the call. Your manager says your name and then asks,
Can you give us a quick update on what you're working on?
you've got maybe 30 seconds.
This is where many people either say too little
Still working on it.
Or start telling the entire history of the week.
So let's see what a useful short team update sounds like across different jobs.
First, customer service.
Several customers have reported the same login problem.
You've reviewed the cases, the technical team has identified the issue, and a fix is being tested.
You're in the team meeting.
Can you give us a quick update on the login issue?
We've had 8 customer reports so far. The technical team has identified the problem and they're testing a fix now. I'm keeping the affected customers updated and we should know more after the next test this afternoon.
That's about 20 seconds.
And the team now knows the scale, the movement, and what happens next.
We didn't list every customer.
We didn't explain every technical detail.
We selected what the group needed.
Now let's move to HR.
2 new employees start next week.
Documents are ready. 1 laptop is ready. The second laptop is delayed.
Quick update?
The onboarding documents for both new starters are complete. 1 laptop is ready, and IT is preparing the second one. I'm following up on that today, but both employees are still expected to start on Monday.
Again, short.
But useful.
Now, finance and operations.
You're preparing the monthly report. Most figures are reconciled, but there's one discrepancy in the sales data.
Your turn.
The monthly report is nearly finished. Most of the figures are reconciled, and I'm checking one discrepancy in the sales data with the regional team. I expect to close that today and send the report tomorrow morning.
3 different jobs.
3 different kinds of work.
But what do the updates have in common?
They show movement.
Exactly.
A useful team update helps people understand what changed since the last time they heard from you.
Not everything you did.
What moved.
What still matters?
And when it's useful, what comes next.
Let's compare 2 answers.
First one.
I've been working on the monthly report, checking the figures, speaking to the regional team, reviewing the data, answering some questions, and making a few corrections.
Busy.
Definitely busy.
But after all that, I'm still asking myself, where is the report?
Now, the second,
The monthly report is nearly finished. I'm checking one remaining discrepancy with the regional team, and I expect to send the final version tomorrow morning.
much clearer.
The first answer describes effort.
The second describes movement.
And in a short team update, movement is often what people need. If you're listening to this and thinking, these answers aren't very complicated, that's intentional.
Good workplace communication doesn't have to sound complicated.
But it does have to help people understand the situation.
And so far, all of our situations have had one thing in common.
The plan has stayed more or less under control.
You knew what you were working on.
You knew what came next.
Maybe you were waiting for someone, but the priorities were still clear.
Real work doesn't always stay that neat.
Sometimes you're halfway through your most important task.
And a new message arrives.
Can you also get this done today?
Now, the problem isn't just how to explain what you're working on.
It's how to make your current priorities visible before you quietly accept one more urgent task.
And that's where we'll go next. Let's say it's 2 o'clock.
You've been working on the monthly report all morning.
It's due at 3.
Most of it is finished. You just need to check the final figures and send it.
Then your manager messages you.
Can you also finish the client summary today? They need it as soon as possible.
And this is where a very common workplace problem begins.
You already have a priority.
Now someone has given you another one.
What do you say?
A lot of people simply say,
Sure.
then they try to do both.
And 3 hours later, neither task is finished.
Or they go in the opposite direction.
I can't. I'm too busy.
That may be true, but it doesn't help your manager decide what should happen.
There's another option.
Make your current work visible.
Let's hear it.
Can you also finish the client summary today? They need it as soon as possible.
I can pick that up today. I'm currently finishing the monthly report, which is due at 3. Which would you like me to prioritize?
That's a useful response.
You're not refusing the new task.
You're not silently accepting 2 competing priorities either.
You're giving your manager information they need to make a decision.
And notice how talking about what you're working on now has a completely different purpose.
Earlier, a colleague asked because they were making conversation.
A manager asked because they wanted visibility.
Another team asked because they needed to know whether they could move forward.
And now you're explaining your current work because two priorities are competing for your time.
Let's continue.
The manager says,
Finish the client summary first. The report can go out at 4.
now you know what to do.
And if someone asks you 30 minutes later, what are you working on now?
Your answer has changed.
I've shifted my attention to the client summary. The monthly report is almost finished, but we've moved the deadline to 4.
That's real work.
Priorities move.
Deadlines change.
Something that was your main focus at 9 in the morning may not be your main focus at 2 in the afternoon.
Let's try another situation.
This time, you work in customer service.
You're reviewing a group of billing complaints that need to be resolved by the end of the day.
Your manager calls.
We have a VIP customer waiting for a response. Can you look into their case right away?
You can simply say yes.
But suppose the billing cases also have a deadline.
Then make that visible.
Yes, I can take a look now. I'm currently working through the billing cases that are due today. Should I pause those and handle the VIP case first?
Very clear.
You're not complaining about your workload.
You're clarifying the order of the work.
And if the manager says, yes, handle the VIP case first, the decision is clear.
Now let's make it less urgent.
You're preparing a presentation for tomorrow.
A colleague asks.
Could you review these figures for me today?
You don't necessarily need to ask your manager what to prioritize.
Maybe you can manage both.
So you might say,
Sure, I'm finishing the presentation first, but I can look at the figures after that. Would around 4 work?
now you're doing something slightly different.
You're showing your current commitment and offering a realistic time.
Instead of saying,
I'm busy.
Or
Yes, I'll do it.
When you have no idea when you'll actually get to it.
Let's hear the difference.
Can you review this for me today?
Sure.
When?
Later.
Compare that with,
I'm finishing the presentation first, but I can review it after that. Would 4 o'clock work?
same willingness to help.
Much clearer expectation.
This is why talking about current work isn't only useful when someone asks, what are you working on?
Sometimes nobody asks that question at all.
you bring up your current work because the other person needs that information to understand what you can do next.
And that brings us to the most important practice in this lesson.
We're going to follow one person through a changing workday.
Let's say you work in operations. It's 9 in the morning.
here's your situation.
You're preparing the monthly service report.
Most of the data is ready, but you still need final figures from the regional team.
You also have 3 customer requests to follow up on.
The report is your main focus this morning.
Keep those facts in mind.
First situation.
You walk into the office and meet a colleague.
They ask,
Morning! What are you working on today?
Pause for a moment and answer naturally.
You don't need to tell them everything.
Here's one possible answer.
I mainly focused on the monthly service report this morning. I need to finish that, and then I'm following up on a few customer requests.
Good.
Now it's 10:30.
Your manager comes over.
Where are we with the monthly report?
Same work.
But should you give the same answer?
No.
Think about what your manager needs. Here's one option. Most of the report is finished. I'm waiting for the final figures from the regional team, and once those come in, I can complete the last section. I'm still aiming to send it this afternoon.
Now the manager can see progress, dependency, and timing.
11:15.
A colleague from the regional team messages you.
Can we close yesterday's figures now, or do you still need anything from us?
This time, your answer affects what they do.
What would you say?
Maybe
I still need the final service numbers for the North region. Everything else is complete. Once you send those, you can close the figures from your side.
Notice the shift.
You didn't explain your entire report.
You told that person exactly what matters to their next action.
Now it's 12:30.
Your manager is in another meeting and sends you a Teams message.
Quick update on the report?
You need a written answer.
Keep it easy to scan.
One option?
Report is nearly complete. I'm waiting for the final North region figures before I close the last section. I expect to have the final version ready this afternoon.
Shorter than the conversation you had earlier.
Because the channel changed.
Now it's 1:30.
Team meeting.
Your manager says,
Can you give everyone a quick update?
30 seconds.
Try it. Here's one version. The monthly service report is nearly finished. All sections are complete except the North region figures, which I'm waiting for now. I'm expecting those this afternoon, so the report is still on track for today. After that, I'll follow up on the remaining customer requests.
Now the whole team has a clear picture.
But the day isn't finished.
2 o'clock.
A major customer reports an urgent service problem.
Your manager calls.
We need someone to coordinate this customer issue now. Can you take it?
remember, the monthly report is still waiting for those final figures.
What would you say?
Don't automatically say yes and hope everything works out.
Make the existing priority visible.
One possible response.
Yes, I can take it. I'm still waiting for the final figures for the monthly report, which is due today. Would you like me to focus on the customer issue now and come back to the report once the figures arrive?
Your manager says,
Yes. Take the customer issue first. We can send the report tomorrow morning if necessary.
and just like that, your workday has changed.
At 9, your main focus was the report.
At 2, it's the customer issue.
At 3, a colleague asks,
How's the report going?
and now you can say, it's nearly finished, but I've shifted my attention to an urgent customer issue. We may send the report tomorrow morning instead. Same report, different reality. That's the kind of English you need at work.
Not one answer memorized on Sunday night and repeated all week.
You need language that can move with your work.
That one workday gives you the whole idea.
The same work can sound different because the listener, the channel, and the consequence are different.
A colleague may only need a quick snapshot.
A manager may need progress, timing, or a dependency.
Another team may need to know whether they can move forward.
A Teams message has to be clear enough to stand on its own.
A meeting update has to show movement quickly.
And when priorities change, talking about your current work can help make the decision clear.
None of that requires complicated English.
It requires the right information for the situation.
Before you go, think of one real thing you're working on this week.
It could be a report, a customer issue, a hiring task, a presentation, or a system update.
First, explain it as if a colleague asked you casually.
Then think about what your manager would need to know.
And if another team depended on your work, what would you tell them?
If you'd like, write your 1 or 2 sentence answer in the comments. Don't worry about making it perfect. Focus on making your work clear.
If this lesson helped you, subscribe to Business English for Success for more practical English you can use in real workplace situations. Thanks for practicing with us. And we'll see you in the next lesson.